You're listening to Haze Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio. You know, it's like when I get up in the morning and I'm like, shit, I gotta do an interview, but man, I'm getting psyched because I got the Haze Secret Cup coming up. So stoked. All these great brands, all these people participating and coming by the office. And I got my boy Tadas with Greenbutts, one of the participants in the Haze Secret Cup. They have a really cool product that we're going to get into. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. Thanks a lot.
So let me ask you something. Were you always, you know, I know I like to ask people kind of before they got into the hemp cannabis industry. What did you do? You know, where are you from?
My background is marketing and advertising, really. So I lived in Lithuania for about 6 years, starting in 1995, 96. I'm, as you can tell by my name, Lithuanian by heritage. My parents were born there, so I decided after I graduated university, I'd move over there and do some international business, which ended up bringing the advertising agency Gray Worldwide to the Baltic states. Worked as marketing director for a wireless company over there. So, yeah, I did a lot of corporate stuff and then moved back to here in 2001 and serial entrepreneur. So,
and 2001 comes along. Yeah. Where'd you move, Cali?
Yeah, San Diego. So
San Diego.
Yeah, Encinitas. Wonderful Encinitas.
And you came from Lithuania to the cannabis capital of the world.
That's right.
I mean, how does the adjustment go of like cultures? Like, how'd you feel about it when you first came here?
I grew up in Encinitas, actually. So
okay,
yeah.
So it's like just back to the swing of the things.
Yeah, exactly. Did my stint and came back. So
that's dope. And did you find Lithuania like a really great experience?
Oh, it's fantastic.
What's the weather like? Is it like cold? Get really cold or this? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, it's pretty much imagine Wisconsin, Chicago kind of weather. It's hot and humid in the summer and freezing cold in the winter.
Okay, but windy? They have the winds and stuff like that or no? Or is it windy like Chicago?
Yeah, because you're on the Baltic Sea there. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's dope.
So, no, it's fantastic. You know, I lived there during that time when it was just post-Soviet. You know, everything's kind of changing to a capitalist system. So it was really interesting to see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what were some of your favorite experiences while you were there?
Oh, man. I mean, working in advertising, that was probably the most interesting thing because really advertising and marketing was kind of a new thing over there because they never needed it before in the Soviet times. And they kind of had this thought of if it needs to be advertised, there's probably something wrong with it.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, why are you trying to push this thing on me? You know, if it's good, it's good. We don't need to be, you know, sold.
Do you remember the first product you did a campaign for when you were in Lithuania?
Yeah, we were doing a lot of like Daihatsu. I remember being one. We were doing, you know, Nokia, different kind of phones, lots of kind of like grocery store items as well. So it was a whole bunch of stuff.
What was the first thing you said? Daihatsu? Or
yeah, Daihatsu. It's I believe it's like a Korean car company.
Oh, car.
Like,
okay. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Korean car in Lithuania ads, man. You know, they want to push it. You know, that's fucking great.
Yeah. So you know, and then you know, kind of serial entrepreneurial stuff when I got back, and just remember thinking with my co-founder Alex, we were like, you know what, there's something here that, you know, cigarette butts are the number one littered item in the world, and there's no alternative.
Now, are you a cigarette smoker?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when I moved back from Europe, that was kind of a no-go zone in California.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a different feel.
Yeah, you know.
The wacky tobacco was definitely stronger.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. No, tobacco smoking, like you're looked upon as a leper in California if you light up a cigarette. So, you know, but just from a business standpoint, I just saw, you know, there's a huge opening here. There's really nothing that's non-plastic, you know, for cigarette filtration. So figured, you know what, maybe this is something that we do. So we basically, did some research. We tried to make some, in home, like just bought different filters like hemp fibers and cotton fibers and all this kind of stuff, and went to the kitchen, kind of, put stuff in a blender, dried it out, tried to make it into a filter form, broke a ton of blenders from Bed Bath & Beyond.
Wow.
It was pretty wild. And then, we're just like, we need something a little bit more sophisticated. So we ended up hiring a company out of Leeds, UK, the Nonwovens Innovation Research Institute, which is basically they do everything having to do with natural fibers and nonwovens, things like that. So we figured if anybody can do it, they can do it. So we kind of gave them the task of, this is what we want to do. This is the way it has to look, the way it has to filter, all that kind of stuff. And given that information, we went on this trek of 7 years of R&D, lots of testing, lots of failures, lots of retesting, even more failures. And then lo and behold, we got our patents now in the UK, the US, and Canada soon in the next couple of weeks. So, we got something that.
And you said it took a lot of years to get all that, right? How many years is this whole process?
Until we got our final formulation was 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
7 years. And what to you kept being what didn't make the cut or change? Like, why did you keep altering?
Yeah, I mean, basically it was the way the material was made. It has to run in existing cigarette filter machinery. So, I mean, it has to be strong enough to run at high speeds. It's got to be, it's got to have the air permeability, to be able to filter out smoke without, being too tight that you can't get any smoke in you. I mean, it's, there's a lot of...
And you said the water or moisture can clog it.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that and the difference of the different filters.
Yeah, so paper filters have been around forever. They've been around for about 60, 70 years. That was the precursor to acetate filters, which are the standard filters you see today on cigarettes. So paper filters are great. Well, they're not great, but they're biodegradable. I guess that's the best I could say about it. But if you have a paper filter on tobacco or hemp or cannabis pre-roll, what happens is that the paper just sucks up all the moisture from the biomass, and it just becomes like a wet sponge. So after about 3 or 4 puffs, you're sucking through a wet sponge.
So one of the things that you wanted to do was create a much better filtration experience, right?
Yeah, so we, obviously...
And let's also talk about the fact you mentioned just now the paper, but let's go into what is most of the cigarettes in America, the acetate ones, and that's a different situation, right?
Yeah.
So talk about that.
Cellulose acetate is the standard filter right now in the industry for cigarettes. So, it's what you see every day. On the streets. It's that litter that's sitting there. It's cellulose acetate. It's a plasticized cellulose. So basically, it is a plastic product. It doesn't break down. It doesn't go away. If it does break down at all, it just gets broken down into more microplastics, and that ends up in the waterways. Birds and fish mistake it for food. They eat it. They end up dying. So it's just a pretty terrible product as far as litter is concerned, but it is the gold standard for filtration and taste in the industry. So what we wanted to do was get an all-natural product that acts and filters just like the cellulose acetate does. So, what people don't want to do is change the way that their smoke feels and tastes. So we had to make sure it's about as neutral as you can get and pretty much mimic all the filtration properties and all the sensory properties of cellulose acetate, but being 100% biodegradable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And not only biodegradable, but also water dispersing. So because all, 90% of all these filters get tossed out, they find their ways through storm drains and the waterways, end up in the ocean. We wanted to make sure that what we formulated was water dispersing. So as soon as our filters, like the Greenbutts filters, it enters, water, gets immersed, it just starts breaking down completely. And with a little agitation, it just turns into mush, and it can't be eaten by birds and fish.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
And you created the company for let's talk about the different avenues of people that could use these Greenbutts.
Yeah, so we obviously were looking at the big picture of trying to get into big tobacco. Obviously, they're the ones that are, producing the most cigarettes and then obviously the most cigarette litter. So they're all using cellulose acetate. We figured we're going to try to make this as seamless a transition for that industry as possible. So we wanted to make sure that, it can run on the existing machinery that they have. So it's just, we created this product and we're just, hoping that they'll come on board. It's a little bit tough with big tobacco because obviously for them to change anything is like pulling teeth. They're pretty much happy where they are. They're making money hand over fist. So why change anything?
Sure.
So, it's been a rough road with them, obviously, to take us on. But, we've got, obviously, now with the advent of hemp smokables and pre-rolls for marijuana, that's a whole other avenue that we're taking part in. So,
and you're offering a private label, essentially, option.
Yeah.
Where people could come to you to get these cigarettes, but instead of tobacco, have hemp flower in it.
Yep. Yeah, we work with some white labelers now in San Diego and elsewhere. They do white labeling of hemp smokables. They use our filters on them or acetate filters, whatever the customer wants, but hopefully they choose ours. So no, I think it's a great combination to have hemp smokes, marijuana pre-rolls using Greenbutts because obviously, the ethos of the cannabis smoker is, more natural, not using plastics, being environmentally conscious. So I think
absolutely,
it's fantastic. Yeah,
I think it's a great product. It was definitely interesting. It's a tough market to try to come up with something new because there's just really this one standard, like you said. There's one or the other.
Yeah,
that's been around forever. So it's a creative, ingenious, almost, as you would say, because you came up with something that's so popularly used throughout the world. I mean, filters on cigarettes, there are fucking trillions of them in the world.
Oh, yeah. I think it's like 6 trillion are tossed out every year. I mean, that's a lot of filters, yeah.
Wow, he's at 6 trillion.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a lot of filters, man. So, it looks like nothing when you toss it out. But those things add up, and most of them find their way into the ocean. So that's stuff that's not fish food. It's just the opposite.
Well, it's great that you created such an awesome product. If people listening were interested in getting some more information, how do we do it?
Yeah, just go straight to greenbutts.com. You'll have all the information there. We're getting our website revamped in the next week or so, but you can contact us through there, and we're on, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. So
Instagram?
Instagram, yeah.
And what do you know what it is? Is it Greenbutts?
I believe it is. We have somebody else doing that Instagram, but yeah, I mean, literally, if you just put Greenbutts in Google, you'll find us right away.
And for the stoners, it's all one word.
Correct.
GREENBUTTS for all my stoners out there. And you laugh, but the funny thing is that I gotta fucking tell them.
Yeah.
Because just what happens, you're like, oh, I forgot. What was that? Oh, how do you spell that?
Well, the good thing is we bought both. We got the one with hyphenated green -butts and the Greenbutts, just so nobody gets confused.
That's dope. Well, we're definitely going to be sampling these Greenbutts and giving our opinions and pulling out some of our fucking best chronic to try some. And we're going to definitely see what people think at the Secret Haze Cup, where you graciously donated stuff for all the gift bags for the VIPs and ultra VIPs that'll be attending the event.
Looking forward to it.
Any shout outs to friends or family out there?
Yeah, just shout out to our customers. We got a great company called Milestone Hemp. They're out of San Diego using our filters. There's a bunch more to come.
Hell yeah. Check out Greenbutts. Thank you, my brother, for coming on.
You got it.
We're definitely going to have you on more to educate and let people know that there's a better, safer, healthier way to smoke your weed. Check out Haze Radio Network at hazeradionetwork.com for all your TV shows, music, concerts, DJ sets, events, everything you need to know. We're going to go stuff some Greenbutts and fucking get baked. I'll see you later. You're listening to Haze Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.